Hello,
Hello,
my name is Pablo. What's your name?
my name is Leon.
Nice to meet you, Leon, for Jesse 10 today. Well, Leon, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm quite excited. How about
Oh,
you?
excellent. I'm very good as well, thank you. It's nice to hear when somebody's excited to do a Jesse test. So thank you very much, Leon. And Leon, let me tell you before we get started today, we're going to begin with your topic presentation. After that, we'll discuss your topic. Then we'll follow with the interactive phase. After that comes the listening tasks, and then we finish with the conversation phase. Okay, so in total, it should take about 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to start with your topic. And whilst you're presenting your topic, you'll probably see me taking some notes. I'm just writing some questions to help me with the discussion afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not about your grammar or your pronunciation or your vocab or anything like that.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so if you're ready, we can get started. What are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about bullying because I feel like it's a topic that a lot of people can relate to and that it's a really serious issue right now that's going on.
Mhm.
And 1 in 5 students experience bullying and they're also affected by bullying. There's two types of bullying, which is physical and mental bullying. And physical bullying is when someone try to hurt some other people with their through their body, while mental bullying is trying to hurt a person emotionally. So basically, bullying is just trying to hurt someone through violence or through words. And so bullying is bad because firstly it can lead to mental illnesses to the person such as anxiety or depression. And it also could lead to low academic performances because the person who are the victims to bullying, no matter just because of their religion, their gender, how they look like, or their body type, they will feel bad about it, and so they will think about it a lot and they can't really concentrate in their studies. It also affects their self esteem because they will have low self esteem, as sometimes when they're bullied, they will feel like they're not good enough and that no one really cared about them and that they're not important. But if it's physical bullying, then it could also lead to some injuries, which sometimes, if it's really severe, then the person will have to be hospitalized and need really serious medical attention. And so for me, I strongly believe that everyone should try every way to stop bullying, whether it's bullying people at school, in workplaces, or online cyberbullying, because I think it's really not okay for other people to have the right to hurt someone just because they don't like that person, or sometimes the bully might just feel bad about themselves or they're having a really bad day and they just want to feel superior to other people. So I think that when people are bullied, they should go tell an adult, a teacher, or anyone that they could trust, or even a friend, so that they could help comfort that person and just tell them that it's going to be okay and there's going to be a solution to it. And if it doesn't stop, then they could also go to a counselor if it's at school, so that maybe the counselor could get the person and the bully together to have a talk and find a solution. Because sometimes the bully might not be as bad as everyone think they are. Because sometimes they might be a victim to bullying too, and so they don't know how they can like live without feeling really bad about themselves. So anyone they find that's less superior to them, then they will just bully them. So
Mm.
in conclusion, I think that everyone should show kindness to other people, and if anyone see their friends or they themselves get bullied, then they should stand up to their friends or themselves and tell the bully that it's not okay to bully. Because by showing kindness and having social responsibility, I believe that people could help stop bullying. Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you very much, Leon. That's a really interesting topic, and I have some questions that I'd like to ask you about it so that we can discuss it. I believe at the beginning you mentioned that bullying is the act of wanting to harm others. I think you said the intended or actions intended to harm others, and I think you touched on it here at the end as well. It seems to me like that means there needs to be an awareness that you're bullying somebody. But I often wonder whether bullies know why they're bullying or whether bullies know that they are bullying. Don't know what you thought about that.
For me, I think that there's some people, they think that they're not bullying other people, and sometimes it could just start as a joke, but then it could get more severe, and then they just lost track of the what they're saying, and so they just don't know that they're hurting other people because the person who's bullied, sometimes they're too scared to tell the other person how they feel, but also sometimes they intended to bully other people because they just want others to accept them, and they want to be the top of the school because
Mm,
they might just feel like they're really small outside or in their family, so they just want other people to know how they feel sometimes.
it just seems to me like that's not the best way to express how you feel.
Yes, I agree.
Uh, You, okay,
Yes.
cool. And Leon, also, um, you mentioned the ways to prevent bullying or to deal with bullying is to tell an adult or somebody or a friend or somebody that you trust. And also, I sometimes wonder whether adults are any better at bullying than perhaps children are. Um, I think some adults are bullies themselves.
Yes, so for me, I think that sometimes when you tell the adult, it might not be the best solution for everyone. So I think that for each person, they should see who they think they feel comfortable to talk with and who is actually good to them, because like what you said, sometimes adults are bullies too, and some adults don't have a moral responsibility too. So maybe the person who got bullied might have a really bad family situation, so they should try to find someone else that they can trust.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Leon. And some other thing that I've heard, I don't agree with bullying. I don't think it's acceptable at all. But I have heard people say that being bullied builds character.
Hmm. I feel like being bullied sometimes it could make the victim stronger emotionally, because if the victim is bullied and they could find a way to stop the bullying, then they will have more confidence in themselves, and it could also help them. But
Mm,
bullying at the first place could also harm them a lot, and not all people could overcome it. And so I feel like if they manage to overcome it, then it's good. But at the start, then it's really hard just to overcome it and be more confident. And not everyone can do it without the help of others, or sometimes they could just give up.
Leon, thank you very much for talking to me about your topic. That was really interesting. Now we're going to move on to the next part. Okay. So, in this task, Leon, I'll start by telling you something. Then you have to ask me questions to find out more information and make comments. It's your responsibility to maintain the conversation.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, Leon, some people are worried about the influence of video games on young people, and I'm not sure where I stand on this.
Hmm. So, for me, I personally think that video games could affect children in their academics because it makes them less able to concentrate in the academics. But it also could be good to them because they could connect to new people and so they could make new friends. But what do you think about children playing video games a lot?
It depends on how much is a lot.
Like
um,
around 2 hours or 3 hours every day?
I think it also depends on the age of the child and then also what type of game they're
Mm,
playing.
yes, I think that if it's like games that are like shooting games or some other violent games, then it doesn't really have a good effect on the children. But if it's like educational games or some games that's really relaxing for the people or the children, then it's good for them because it makes their mental health better. And what types of game do you think it's good for the people playing video games?
Mm. I would say, in general terms, that anything that's educational, anything that is either helping to learn something, uh, even if it might be learning to focus, for example.
Hmm. I agree. I think it really helps them with academics or work as well because so they could focus on lectures and it also helps with life skills. Like sometimes some people with things like ADHD, then they will have problem focusing and if they play games that help them with focus, then they could focus more. Do you have an example of someone that you know or a story that about video games that they play?
Mm, yes, perhaps I have a story of myself. Um, till till this day, I don't often play video games, but I do still play video games every now and then. And when I do, the time just flies by. So I think that says a lot about my focus and my concentration. But I think I probably play um, for different reasons than academic or learning.
What do you feel when you play video games?
Oh, well, I normally feel, depending on the video game, but normally I feel very relaxed and I normally feel entertained and engaged. I feel like I'm perhaps like reading a book, but it's interactive.
I think video games that you play is like really good because it makes you relax sometimes when you've been through a hard day or maybe you're very tired, then I think it's good that you play some video games. Because for
Mm.
me, I sometimes play video games, but not that much because I have to study a lot. But when I do have time, I just go and call my friends and tell them if they want to play with me. And then when we play together, I also feel really engaged about it. And I'm really happy that I get the chance to connect with my friends more. And do you
Mm.
usually play with your friends?
I don't. I normally just play on my own, so I don't normally play online. So I don't know whether this is one of the things that people are worried about, perhaps.
Yes, I think so because some people, when they play video games and they play alone, then maybe the other people might be worried that they might feel a bit lonely. But then for me, I feel like the person who's playing the video games alone, they might enjoy it. I think. Do you enjoy playing? Like you feel relaxed?
I do, Leon. Yeah, I enjoy my time. Really, it's a way to unwind. Realistically, for me.
I think
Mm.
it's really good to sometimes just have some time for yourself and just relax by yourself with some peace and quiet. Yes.
Indeed, I totally agree with that. Well, Leon, thank you very much for talking to me about that. That was really interesting as well. Now we're going to move on to the listening tasks. Leon, this time I'm going to read you three short passages, and after I've finished each one, I'd like you to either suggest a suitable ending or an answer to a question. I'll then move on to the next passage. Are you ready?
I, yes.
Okay, so these two passages are incomplete. When I stop, I'd like you to tell me in just a few words how you think the passage finishes. So, Leon, there's been some new research on mosquitoes. Apparently, they can detect a human's presence 50 meters away. Mosquitoes pick up the scent of the carbon dioxide we exhale and then follow that until they get close enough to sense the warmth of our bodies. Researchers say that trying to escape from them is.
Impossible.
Thank you. I'll go to the next passage. When we hear cows making a mooing noise, they may all sound the same to us humans. But according to research, cows use these sounds to express a range of emotions to each other. Researchers found cows use the mooing sounds to convey everything from excitement to distress. So the tone varies to let the other cows know how.
They're feeling.
Thank you. After I've read this following passage, Leon, I'll ask you a question about what you've heard.
Okay.
I'm an avid reader, and when I first discovered electronic books, I was really excited. Having access to several novels on my ebook reader was so convenient, especially when I was traveling. However, I was talking to a friend recently about books that have made a strong impression on us over the last few years. Interestingly, I realized that it was the traditional paper books that we remembered most vividly. Leon, what point is the speaker making about electronic books?
The speaker is trying to say that electronic books aren't as memorable as paper books.
Thank you. Okay, now, Leon, we'll move on to the next part, which is the conversation phase. Did you prepare list A or list B?
List A.
List A. Okay, let's talk about roles in the family.
Okay.
Okay. Leon, in my family, I grew up with my mum as a businesswoman, and we spent time at home with my dad. What family roles do you believe in?
For me, I feel like the mom and the dad should help each other in both work outside and work inside the house so that they could share the work. And so when the mom is tired, the dad could help with the work of the mom at home. And when the dad is tired, then the mom could help the dad with the work at home. And
Hmm.
what do you think about the parents sharing work at home?
Um, well, I think that's how it should be, really. I think the responsibilities and the roles around the house should be shared, and that might include some of the children once they're of an age to do certain tasks. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I agree that children should also learn to do some chores so that because it's good
Hmm.
for them in the future when they grow up so that they could do things by themselves like washing their clothes or making their food because sometimes the children might want to go learn in other countries and so they could have some life skills so that they don't need to ask for too much help from other people.
So it sounds like our families are probably quite similar in those roles. But what do you believe about families where women are thought to just be to help around the house and to cook and to clear up, and the men should go and work and bring the money into the household?
For me, I think that it depends on the family because when two people want to make a family, then they should discuss on what job then they would want to do. Sometimes the men would want to stay at the house and clean. Sometimes the woman might want to go out or maybe it's the other way around. Or maybe
mm,
they could do both. Sometimes the men and women can help each other with doing both of the things, because I personally think that it's not okay if some people to think that women should always be the only ones to take care of the house. What do you think?
mm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't think that is fair, and I don't think that is just. And like you said, if two people create a family, well, then they should talk about the equality and how they're going to share those roles. And in my opinion, I think they should be shared.
Yes, I
Hmm.
also think so.
Hmm. Thank you, Leon, for talking to me about that. Let's talk about something different now. Okay. Let's talk about designer goods.
Oh.
How do you feel about designer goods and the industry, Leon?
For me, I think that the goods themselves, the creativity of the person who made them is I'm really impressed by it, because I feel like it's really interesting that people could create some goods and just add a brand or a logo to it, and then they
Mm,
could sell it for really huge prices.
mm,
But I also think that designer goods is not okay for children to buy or young adults to buy, because sometimes it's just too overly expensive, and I think that they
mm,
shouldn't be spending their money on that, because they should focus on their studies and doing things like traveling with their family or traveling with their friends, and doing just the appreciating the really small little things that they get.
So, in summary, what are you saying?
I'm saying that the designer goods, they can cause harm to the mindset of children and people
Mm,
who are still learning. But then I think it's also a really interesting business idea for the
mm,
entrepreneurs.
hmm, hmm. Cool. I think I agree with you there. Um, in the part that it might put the focus on material things, really, for children. I think I would much prefer for them to be part of that creative process rather than just to be buying the product.
Yes, I think so,
Mm,
because I see nowadays in this generation there's a lot of children who's just really into designer things, and they're really materialistic, and sometimes I feel like it's just too much for children. Like, instead of buying expensive things, I think they should just focus on buying things that they like and could like be really memorial to them. And like,
mm,
what do you
mhm.
think about children buying?
Well, I think that's an interesting topic, Leon, because first of all, where are they getting their money from and what are they buying? I think children need to be taught a lot of things about what to buy, how to buy it, etc., etc.
Yes.
Um, but that might be a topic to discuss at another time because we're finished. That's it. That's all we have time for today.
Okay.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Leon. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
you too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.